Harmon with ABC 15.
Monty, congratulations. This journey that you, Chris, Book, everyone has been on, how do you describe what this moment is like tonight?
I couldn't do it justice right now. I'm just unbelievably grateful for the blessings that I've received as a coach, working with people like Randy, getting to coach the players, moments like this, just out there on the floor talking to a few of the guys. They were like trying to figure out the feelings we were all having. And I remember, being in those moments when I was, in San Antonio. It's hard to describe. You're just grateful for it. And we know we have more work to do, but it's hard to describe it in the moment. You're just grateful for being in these moments with people you're with every single day, and thankful for your family, thankful for, again, the people you work with, thankful for the fans that travel, and to be able to win a game like that is huge for the organization, the city, all of that stuff. So that's what I have in my heart right now. It's just a lot of gratitude, and I'm just so thankful God has given me the job I have, and I get to work with the people I work with.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Kellen Olson.
Congratulations, Coach. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Chris Paul, that late third, early fourth, where it was just a takeover. Just speak to how you were watching him. Was a matter of just, you talked about taking the paintbrush out of his hand in New Orleans. You certainly let him have it.
Well, I've told you guys from the jump I wanted to stay out of his way. And there was questions about his production before tonight, and in my heart I felt like it was a matter of time. I didn't know it was going to be like that, but that's who Chris is, and he was tired, and he was still making those kinds of plays, getting to the basket, the threes, orchestrating everything. And I'm grateful that I get to coach him again. When I first had him in 2010, and he went on actually to come here, in your wildest dreams, you couldn't have, put it together in this way. And so to watch him out there tonight, I was so grateful to be on his side. And then I really enjoyed watching him and his emotions after the game. I was like, I must be getting old now, because I'm enjoying watching other people. You know what I mean? It used to be about me. Now I'm looking at everybody else having a good time. I'm like, man, I'm getting old.
But yeah, I saw at one point you had your arms around him over his. What was that moment like? You connected with him finally.
I mean, it's just authentic. That's what I felt like doing. I'm not into cool. I just felt like hugging him. And I think his parents were right behind us, and he was emotional. I felt for him, and I had my emotional time before the game. That's why Randy's sitting here with me today. About 2:30, we were in the locker room, and it was just Randy and I was like, man, Randy, we're so close. And then Randy starts telling me what he felt about me, because he's been with me since day one in New Orleans. And I broke down before the game, and so I understood the emotions that, Chris was dealing with. I just ran out of tears. I used all mine up about 2:30, 3 o'clock today. So when Chris started crying, I told Jay, I said, Jay was laughing. He's like, Chris is gonna start crying. I said, yeah, I have mine early. He looked at me, I said, dude, I broke down about 2:30, 3 o'clock today. I was gone, because Randy had just spoke from the heart to me about some things that we've been through. He's been with me every step of the way since New Orleans and now. So just grateful for those moments.
Congrats again, Coach.
Thank you.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Gina Mizell.
Congratulations, coaches. Monty, I saw you had a moment with Devin too, with your arm around him. You look at the moment that he had last year, and you told him in the locker room at the bubble, you've been through a lot. He stuck around in this situation. There are a lot of situations that end up differently like this, but he stuck around in Phoenix, and for him to get here, just how do you feel for him as a coach and a friend?
I just feel I'm happy for him, because I've been with him every day now athletically for 2 years. So I've seen the work, I've seen the passion, I've seen his family and how they, not just him, but they want it. They love Phoenix. They don't want to go anywhere. They wanted to do it there. And so for us to be in this position to go forward and have a chance to win a championship, it takes me back to my first conversation with him at a restaurant in Scottsdale. He looked me right in the eyes and he said, "Coach, whatever you need me to do, I'll do it." And that was the beginning, you know. And so to see him in this position is gratifying, but he'd be the first one to tell you, you know, we enjoy this, but we know we have more work to do. You know, he's dead set on competing for a championship, and that's been his focus, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Dave McMenamin.
Guys, congrats. Randy, I'll ask you, what is this moment like for you, and just that conversation earlier in the day, just how did that unfold from your perspective? And what was
Well, it's been great to be alongside this gentleman for, what's now, 7 years? 5 in New Orleans and 2 here. He respects the position, and that's really gratifying for me to see how much work he puts into it. I told him today, like, we'll have a situation that we want to talk about at the end of the day before we all go home. I know the next day he's put in the time to come up with a solution for that situation. And you respect that. I've seen that for 7 years. I've seen the growth for 7 years. So that's really special for me to see. And it's been 20 years for me to get back to this point. So it's, you know, you got to put in the time, I guess. It's a grind, but I'm happy to be here.
Next is Dave McMenamin with ESPN, and then Mark Spears.
Congrats, Monty. Congrats, Randy. Monty, I guess both of you being basketball lifers and knowing what it's like to keep your ultimate grind and all that. Do you have any sense of the opportunity tonight, how special it was? Chris Paul playing his former team, making finals for the first time, playing for his former coach, and the news is like all of that coming together. Did you put words to it?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, I wouldn't do it justice. It'd be really hard to do that, but you just never think that you're going to have those kinds of opportunities. It's a bit of a sweet spot, you know. We haven't won the championship that we want to win, but to see it come together like this, for Chris to be able to come back here, Randy and I and Willie Green were together with him in New Orleans. Then, you know, he left and we stayed in contact. Randy and Chris stayed in contact. We were all still tight. Then for us to get back together again and do this, like, how do you put that into words? You know, you're just like watching it from afar. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're in it, you're just kind of watching it like, wow, this is pretty cool. And I'm really happy for Chris because, again, I see the work that he puts in. I see the care. You saw the tears after the game. You know, you never know if you're going to be in these positions. And you watch guys get there 3, 4, 5 times. Some people get there, you know, more than that. And you're like, man, I've worked my tail off, you know. And then you just realize it's a blessing because everybody works at it. And so if you get a chance to be a part of it, you realize you've been unbelievably blessed. And so to see it come together the way that you described is pretty cool.
Next is Mark Spears with ESPN, and then Jovan Buhat.
Both of y'all, congratulations. Can you tell me just about this? So much happened today that we forget that Chris was out, that he had the COVID issue.
Yeah.
I mean, can you talk about that to where you are now? And then also, he was balling today too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is like a game, I don't know when's the last time he's played like this, but you can talk about like just how this whole series started and then also what you saw tonight from him.
I mean, for him to put up 41 and 8 and control the game that he did, like, this is the second time we've closed the team out, and he's, you know, I think he had 37 in the closeout game against Denver. It's just who he is. But when we started the series, even before the first series started, I got the call, you know, hey, Chris might be out. And you just, your heart sinks for a second because you're like, man, like, not right now, you know what I mean? But after talking to him and talking to the team and you know, watching Jay and Book and those guys grow in their leadership roles and hold it down until Chris could get back. It's just been a emotional ride for us just in this series alone, but we've dealt with it the whole playoffs. I mean, the Lakers series, he gets a stinger or whatever that was in his shoulder. He's playing with half of his body, basically. You know, he's playing with one arm. And so I've told our guys, everything you want's on the other side of hard. You know, you just have to continue to persevere as best you can and not give up, and hopefully something good is on the other side.
This is my last question, but what can the world learn from this series?
Will, you know, you never quit. You know, he has a number of contemporaries that have won championships and been in this position, and having been around him, that's all he wants. He wants to be a part of winning, and he's persevered through a lot. You know, injuries, playoff heartbreak. You know, being as close as he was in Houston, and getting hurt, and not having a chance to compete for a title. I know that burned him, and so for me to be able to, you know, watch that and then be in a position with him to go forward and have a chance is pretty cool. If you can learn anything from Chris Paul, is to keep going, don't quit, serve others, because that's what he does. He cares about his teammates. He spends a lot of time. You guys have no idea how much time he spends with these young guys on our team. And I think when you serve people like that, they follow you, you know, and that's why he's such a good leader, because he serves the guys that are around him.
Next is Jovan Buha with The Athletic, followed by Dan Wojcicki.
Hey guys, congrats. I want to ask about DeAndre. This was his 11th double-double of the playoffs, and kind of bounced back from last game where it was, I guess, subpar by his standards. But this was the second time he did that in this series. What have you seen from him in terms of his growth and, more importantly, his consistency?
I think with DA, Randy could attest to this, because he and Mark Bryant spend more time with him than I do, actually. But he's just learned how to embrace the grind, you know, the day in, day out work, and then he's starting to see it pay off on this level. You know, it's one thing to see it pay off in the regular season. It's totally different to see a guy dominate series after series after series and see all the work that he's put in and all the things that they do every single day. Randy and Mark and the group of bigs, I think that's what I've seen from him. He's embraced the work. He's embraced being a part of the scouting report. He's embraced coaching. He understands that we're trying to call him up, not out, and how much we care about him. He's embraced it all. And at first it wasn't as easy, because he didn't know me and I really didn't know him, and there was a lot of new stuff coming at him, and then he had the pressure of being the #1 pick. Once he got all of that out of his mind, I think he just embraced his role and embraced the grind of trying to be a really good NBA player.
Got time for 3 more. Next is going to be Dan Wojcicki with the LA Times, and then Mark Medina.
Hey, Mark. I think it might have been the third quarter when the Clippers went on that 10-0 run. Mm-hmm. They blow coverage out of the defense. Chris is open, and he hits that shot.
Yeah.
How big of a shot do you think that was?
It was a shot that helped me loosen up in a certain area of my body. You know what I mean? That was the deal. You know, it was getting to that point where I used the timeout on a challenge, and so my timeouts were starting to get a little dicey, and for whatever reason they didn't guard him on the right wing, and they just kind of stared at him, and it was a moment. You know, Chris loves those moments, but when he hit that shot, it was almost like symbolically he was like, "Coach, I got it." You know, and he's done that time and time again this season.
Did he say anything in that timeout that you remember?
He and I were both talking about poise and execution. We knew that it could get a bit physical, and you know, every series we've had, it's been emotional. Stuff's happening in a closeout game, and so he was talking about that. I reiterated it. I tried to give us some structure on offense, and you know, we've been talking about poise with this group for a long time, and it paid off tonight.
Final 2 questions are Mark Medina with USA Today and Melissa Rowland.
Monty and Randy, congratulations with everything. What was your takeaway of this series with how Devin encountered everything, with playing through the physical nature of the series and adjusting with the mask and playing this game?
Yeah, I mean, for as young as Book is, he's done an awful lot, you know, in his career. And I think people forget, like, even though he wasn't winning as much, he was in a lot of situations, and he was the target every night. And so I don't think this was new for him. It was just on a different stage. And I thought the world saw his fearlessness on the big stage. When we needed a bucket, he was the guy defensively. He was, giving up his body. He got hit in his nose. That thing is broken in like 3 places, and he got cracked in that thing a couple times tonight. But he and Chris, that partnership, when you need a bucket and you're able to give it to guys like that, it's pretty cool. But Book has seen a lot, and last year in the bubble, I talked to him and I talked to the team about all the stuff that he's been through, and having a lot of people say things about you when they really don't know how hard you're working and how much you care. I think the world saw tonight how much he cares, the way he plays. He gives it up on every single play. That's all you can ask from a player.
Final question is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports.
Hey, Monty. At the beginning of the season, I think it's safe to say most people didn't predict that you guys would be here headed to the NBA Finals. Did you?
I'm going to hold on to that because there's been some really cool stuff that's happened on our team, but I may have been the only one that thought that we could, or was crazy enough to challenge the team with that. But something pretty cool happened earlier this year, and to answer your question, I didn't know we would be here, but that's what we were working for, behind the scenes. I'm not one to make predictions or anything like that, but when you have Chris and Book, and then you add Jay and the leadership and the growth of our team and everything that Robert's given us, you thought if things go our way, we could have a shot at competing. But I certainly didn't know we were going to get here, but I was crazy enough to think about it, for sure, because I think that's what everybody plays for. And you only get, if you're blessed, you get one shot, sometimes. I've been in an organization in San Antonio where they got a number of shots, and I couldn't paint it this way, but I certainly thought about it.
Congrats again, Coach. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yep.